Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the 2008 ehobby exclusive Crystal Convoy figure. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're then going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. We will then do some comparisons or see how much he's changed from one of the very first version of Optimus Prime up into one of the very latest versions that I actually have of him, and of course some others in between. And because he's basically a much more limited edition version of the classics or the Henkei figures that were out at the same time, we can do some comparisons and see how he displays with some of the other figures in that toy line as well. So as you can see, quite a lot to get through with this video. So while I'm popping these back, if you've not subscribed to this channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please, because it really will help me and the channel out. Right then, so as I mentioned, 2008 this figure came out, and he's a crystal clear version of the Henkei Voyager class Convoy figure. He was originally available from the Tokyo Toy Fair in 2008, and he was limited to 1,000 pieces at the event, but later, as you can see like this, made available via ehobby. Now what they use, and it's a bit of a shame with the packaging because the figure is so nice, they just do a monochrome blue, and it's hard to make out, to be honest, exactly what's going on. You can sort of see him there in robot mode transforming through there. On the side of the box, as you already saw as I flipped it round, you've got other pictures of the Henkei figures that were out, and there's not much more really apart from all the other bump on the bottom to say about that. So let's have a look at the actual figure himself. So this figure, it has been opened, and everything's falling out, so let me pop that back up there for a second. What we've got the ehobby packaging and the Autobot stickers if we want to pop him on, and then I presume inside here, let's have a look, we normally get something like a collector's card with it being a Japanese release. So we've got the instructions, and there we go. So there is the collector's card you can see of Convoy, as again he is known in Japan. So that's for those of you who are unaware, as I say, Optimus Prime in Japan was known as Convoy. These are just the instructions. I'm just going to pop these safely in there and out of the way for now. So funnily enough, I don't actually even own the original classics version of this, which came out in 2006. I just got this version, as you say. Classics around about the 2006 sort of moments, and toy lines I've only got a few because I've just started going back and purchasing them, because at the time I was just buying G1. Anyway, let's put all this back in the box, and as I'm doing that, hopefully you can see there that he is in fact exactly that. He is translucent plastic pretty much all the way through, which means I'm going to be handling him with a lot of care. So the accessories that come with him is a shield that doubles up to be a gun. I'll show you this in a bit more detail, transforming it later on. And the pretty much same with this. This is a gun which doubles up to be his smokestacks when in the alternate mode. So for the rest of the video, we're going to do some first impressions right now. Then we're going to see him in his alternate mode and then come back for all the comparisons. So look, we've got the beautiful head sculpt there. And I suppose the only annoying thing is obviously you can clearly see there would be light piping on the back, which I would love to show you, but you can see there's blue paint painted over the eyes, so there's no point, there's nothing to show you there. This is all again translucent red, translucent clear, and translucent blue. There is articulation in the head, it does spin around, it doesn't really look up and down, it will tilt forward, but that is only for transformation purposes. Shoulders will go all the way around, it'll twist underneath at the bicep, it'll flex at the bicep, it'll go out to the side. Yes, unfortunately these panels should be there. The wrist will not rotate at all. Now the interesting thing with this is, and I suppose this is a brilliant bonus, bearing in mind obviously it's a 2006 mold, is that you've got a waist rotation, and which isn't anything to do with the transformation process rather. You've got a top of the torso twist, but that is mainly for transformation, but you do have a waist swivel even though it is not needed at all for transforming him. Hips to the front, to the side, knee bend. We don't actually have an ankle rock or tilt really, it's just again for transformation purposes. But for a 2006 figure, he is very articulate, and I suppose the panels here on the side are perhaps the only negative thing about him, because they're just there. You can't tuck them away anymore at all. The wheels again are even translucent, and again, as I say, I think for first impressions he looks great. So let's come back now and have a look at him in his alternate mode. Okay, then we're back, and as you can see, he's already in his alternate mode. So quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. That is for a couple of reasons. One is to keep the main length of the video down, and the second and most obvious reason I think with this time is that it's translucent plastic. So I wanted to do the transformation process really slow and indeed really carefully. However, I have managed to get it uploaded on a separate video, so if you want to see it, you can still see it for yourselves. But again, let's keep this video relatively short and just show you the main points. So as you can see, the brilliant thing about this is, and I know it sounds trivial, but it is an important point, because these are toys, that it rolls very freely, again, even on carpet, so no issues, nothing hindering any of the movements in the wheels. And the alternate mode is pretty good. I do quite like this, to be honest. I've just left it exactly as it is. I know we can see the head, but I wanted to show you this part. So this is, as I say, doubles up as a shield, but it also doubles up as the roof as well. So you can pop this there, and this now will of course cover his head and I suppose just add the finishing touch to the roof. However, we are not finished there. What we are now going to do is take the gun. We're going to open this out like so. We're going to fold the side bits in, fold the handles in, and it's harder to see because it's translucent, but you can see you've got these raised little tabs here, and indeed on the back there's 2 holes. Again, it is really difficult to see because it's translucent, and these are now going to be the smokestacks. And let me see if I can get this in there. There we go. And indeed the same on this side. Is it going? There we go. So this now completes the full image of him, and it looks really good. The silver looks fantastic. It is reflective. The smokestacks now just that nice little finishing touch, and it is quite a big sort of Voyager class figure. Again, you get the feel for it. There's a Generations red alert, which is about the same, just quite a bit smaller in length, but obviously nowhere near as chunky. And then we've got like another Universal Generations, very damaged, battered up Galvatron, but again you can see that he is much bigger. Detail is brilliant. The little paint apps on it. We've obviously got the headlights coloured in, got the indicators. Oh, that's just popped off there as well. And as I say, when it's all folded out like so, quite similar obviously to the original with how the legs are all tucked under. Nice detail there for the yellow lights. But there's not much more to say about that really, apart from, again, it looks great in this particular mode. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back with him in robot mode for the final time for some of the comparisons and display ideas I was on about earlier. Right then, here he is back in his robot mode for the final time, and indeed the light shining on him is really making him look, I think, very good. So I've just left these exactly as they were for 2 reasons, just to show you, as I say, exactly what you can do with them, because again they are multifunctional and they've got dual purposes. So obviously I've said you could use this if you wanted to. You could pop that in his hand and he could sort of use it as a shield. You could also just attach it in this hole at the back and have it, I suppose, just sort of sit there, which is how you could have seen it maybe on some of the other display ideas with him, or pop it there, but it just looks a little bit ugly tucked there. What it is supposed to be for, let me show you right now, and I actually think this is quite clever, to be honest. You could got a bit of an idea of the transformation process here with everything folding out anyway. This is quite clever. So let's take the shield, or the rooftop, whatever you want to refer to it as. We're going to fold this bit in half carefully. You can see it's still attaching there like so. Right, what we're then going to do is fold out the front, and you can see we've got these 2 tabs. This is going to get covered up there, and indeed we can now fold out the front, which makes it into a much bigger blaster. And again, I think because it's translucent, it really works. It looks better than the standard version. I think because of that, this can of course go in his hand, or indeed it could double up and just rest in the back via that hole again. So these of course with the smokestack, so if you remember what we do with these is we can fold out this is quite tricky to get out. There we go. Same on this side, fold out this bit here, fold them up this way. Ooh, fold the handles up as well. Now fold it over, and there again is his gun. So this can then go in his other hand like so. And of course now he is fully powered up and looking pretty damn impressive, to be honest. So that's how he looks with all the weapons. Let's do some Optimus Prime shots then. So this is obviously where it all started, and you could tell just by looking at him, you know, that's definitely an Optimus Prime. I've just got a couple more. I think then we've got this guy who is, let's be honest, probably one of the worst versions of him. And I've not included sort of core class and other, you know, like leader class ones, just purely because it's not really fair to do the comparisons. And then I'm not going to be able to fit all these, I don't think. Let's try. So he's going to be moved over further. And then I've got two relatively new ones. So I've got one of the first from the War for Cybertron, which was, of course, his Siege self, which is there. No, we're not going to see it. In fact, what I'm going to do, well, you can see the progression anyway. What I'm going to do is move these down, and I'm going to go with original, this one, and most recent of mine. I know there was an Earthrise normal, but I think that, and again, I don't include the masterpiece because it's just not fair. But you can see, you can tell that they're all Optimus Primes, and you can of course see the progression and indeed I suppose the improvements. We don't have any more of these huge things tucked at the side. And I suppose everything's just tucked away nice and snug. You could say the same with this one, but obviously this is much more basic. Right, final I suppose display or comparisons. Again, he is a Voyager class figure. Bumblebee was a deluxe. So was Ironhide, to be fair. Ironhide is a huge figure though, but he's still sort of dwarfed, as you can see there, by Optimus himself. And then I've got the Henke Voyager class Inferno, which funnily enough dwarfs him. I'm thinking it's Voyager class since to that. It might be leader now, I've said that, to be honest. But just a great figure, just a great figure, just a great toy line. And I'm really enjoying going back and finding and sourcing these, even though of course they've been updated and have various other variants and versions of them. It's just been fun finding these and indeed sharing them with yourselves. So I'll probably end up getting the normal version as well, just because I like to collect variants. But obviously I wanted to share this one with you, and if you've never seen it before, I would suggest searching for Crystal Convoy rather than ehobby Optimus Prime clear version, because again in Japan he's known as Convoy. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about this figure. I think he looks great, and I think even though of course we've got much more updated versions, I'm going to be displaying him with pride on one of my shelves. Let me know what you think of him, guys. Take care.